Hey guys, Gary J here. Today we're talking about putting a remote starter switch for the 2008 SRT, and this is what the 2008 SRT is. Now in 2008, after about 37 years later, after the second generation Challenger was developed, they came out with the 2008 SRT. And with the 2008 SRT, is very uniquely made. And that model, 2008, did not have a remote start where you could crank it up with your remote. And 2009, they did. You could get that option. And the RT came out in 2009 too. But some people like to have the remote start, and that's what I want to do, is put a remote start in mine. Now, my SRT 2008 is black, not orange, but I love the orange. So we're going to be putting that in, but I'm going to take it to a mechanic shop that's real good and let them install it. And so for those who have a 2008, or if you have a Chrysler product and you would like to have a remote start, you can take it to the dealership and they'll put it in, but it runs about $350, $400 is what they want to charge you, if not more, to put a remote start in your 2008. Well, there's a company called Flash Logic here. Flash Logic, and here's a number here. You can go by that. And we're talking about the 2008 now, so that's, I want to make sure you understand that this is what the numbers here are going to be associated with. Get this number here and Flash Logic, and you can tell them, and you can buy this off eBay, and you can tell them, that you want a 2008 SRT Challenger remote start wiring assembly. And this is all supposed to be plug and play, so it's not real involved. There are some systems that are truly really involved, but this is not. And this is $80. That's cheap compared to what Chrysler wants. $80. Okay. Comes with this little unit right here. And you got plug-ins here. You see there, and on the other side you got plug-ins here. And so it makes it real simple as a plug-and-play device. Also, we have a wiring harness here, and you see a big plug here, and there are other little plugs here, and where my finger is here. And so that should make it really simple. And there's some other wires in here, and I think some of these other wires right here are used for as optional terminals here. And this advertisement, not sure what these exact wires are used for here, because I haven't really looked at the manual that much on how to install that. But some of these wires you probably will not need in this assembly. Now, this is the owner's guide to Flash Logic. And one of the interesting things too is that the fellow that I got this from off of eBay, and he sells a lot of them, he says follow these instructions here on the install guide. And this is not from the company. This is a pretty nice, simple explanation of how to wire this kit up to the 2008 SRT. Okay? And so he cuts out a lot of stuff that you don't need to know. And this is just about the different types of the wires and stuff that you're going to be looking for and what model you may have. 300 SRT8, a Town and Country, Challenger RT, Challenger XXT, SRT, Chrysler, Charger RT, and Durango, Grand Caravan. So it covers a lot of different ones. They have one that'll fit your particular Chrysler product. On this page right here, and the reason I'm just showing you this because you got your unit here and you got your plugins here, and the code system, and the people who usually put in any kind of mechanics, put in electrical system, they know exactly what they're looking for. And so it makes it real easy. Here's the unit. This is the unit right here that you're going to be looking at. So what I understand from the guys who have put them in their cars, the SRT8, it takes about 40 minutes. 40 minutes. So no more than an hour at a mechanic shop to do this. If somebody you know is reputable can do the wiring. Because again, it's supposed to be just plug and play. You don't have to do a lot of splicing wires and all that stuff, okay? Hey guys, we had our remote start hooked up to the 2008 SRT. Remember, the 2008 year one limited edition did not have the remote start available. So we had one put on here. I had it installed professionally. It cost $85 to do that. So I got $165 in it. That's not bad to me. I mean, compared to what Chrysler wants or Dodge wants, they want you to pay, I think it's $350 to $450 for a remote start system. Okay. The great thing about Flash Logic, this particular model here, is that this is my original OEM fob. Okay. Now, with the original fob, it does not have a remote start, so it does not have a remote start button here for it. Okay. So this is the trunk button, lock button, unlock button, and panic button. And here you have a key inside here you can take out in case you have a problem with your regular start button here. This is your startup button. So with this system, you can use your standard fob. In order to crank this car up, number one, all your doors have to be locked. Okay? So you want to make sure that you have pressed the lock button, that your doors are locked. You don't want to crank your car up with the doors unlocked. Somebody might try to steal it, but it's got a fail-safe to it. So your doors are locked. That's number one. So for whatever reason you decide you want to remote start your vehicle, you press the lock button right here 3 times. Not fast, not like that, but kind of slow. This particular system is hooked to the horn, so the horn will make a noise every time you press this. So you'll hear the horn blow. We're going to press it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now you see everything starting to light up. The engine's cranked up. The RPM is at 1,000. So now we're running. Okay. The doors are still locked. Okay. Let's say for whatever reason, these would generally run for like 15 minutes and automatically cut off. You can go to the dealership and have that changed to like 30 minutes or longer. But really 15 minutes should be long enough. But we cranked it up, but the doors are still locked. We have not tried to get into the vehicle. Let's say you want to turn the vehicle off without ever going out and without going outside and getting in it. You decide, well, I'm going to do something else and I just want to cut it off. If you want to cut it off, you press the lock button again 3 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now the engine has shut down. Okay. All right. Now we're outside the vehicle. I'm just showing you what it looks like on the inside of the vehicle. Okay. We're pretending we're outside doing all of this. Okay. Now we want to crank it up. Take our fob and get it in focus here. Press your start button, your lock key right here 3 times. 1, 2, 3. you notice there's a little pause, like 4 seconds or something like that maybe, that you have to wait for it to crank up. So now it's running. When you go to your car, the doors are locked. So you're going to have to press your unlock key right here. Okay? Now the doors are unlocked. Now we're pretending we're outside. I'm just showing you what it looks like on the inside when this happens. So now we open our door. We see our door icon. We get in the vehicle and we sit down. Now that we've sat down in the vehicle, if you put your foot on the brake, the car will cut off. I'm going to put my foot on the brake like I normally would have when I crank it up. I put my foot on the brake now. That just killed the engine, okay? Because I put my foot on the brake. So how do you avoid killing the engine? All right. We'll make sure we start this all over again, okay? Now, we pretend we're outside the vehicle. And now you can get out of this mode if you want to, but I'm just trying to show you how to use the fob right here. So the vehicle is locked. And we press our fob button again 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's cranked back up again. We see our RPMs at 1,000. Now if I put my foot on the brake, it's going to kill the engine again. So how do I avoid that? You know your start button is here when you crank it up in normal mode. You got to press this 2 times. Press this 2 times, but do not touch the brake. Press it. 1, 2. That puts it in run mode. The first time you press it, it goes to accessory mode. Second time it goes to run mode. So now you can put your foot on the brake. I'm putting my foot on the brake. My foot is on the brake. Now I can pull my shifter into drive and the vehicle moves and everything is fine. I go down the road. I don't need my fob anymore. I've got it in my pocket. So I go down the road and I get to wherever I'm going and I want to shut the engine down. Shut it down the way you normally do. Just press the button 1 time. That shuts the engine down. Okay. See how simple that is. So that works really well. Now, again, when I mentioned you have to press this twice, once you get in the vehicle, press this twice, then put your foot on the brake. Then you can put it in gear and it won't cut off. Now I'm going to press this button 1 time and show you on the gauge here. It says ignition mode accessory. That's the first time. The second time you press it, it says ignition mode run. Okay, that's why you push it twice, because it goes into the run mode, which then allows you to put your foot on the brake and then put it into gear. Okay, that's what that's about. So this is really a good deal. Now, do I really need this? No, but I live in Georgia. Now, the guys that live up north in the snowy areas, you know, where it snows all the time, stuff like that, this is a great feature because you can turn the heater on and crank up your vehicle, and it'll warm up your vehicle, the engine, the transmission oil, the vehicle on the inside cabin will warm up, you know, your vehicle will be nice and warm when you get out there in the cold. The same is true in this sense too, as far as in the summertime, it's hot in Georgia. It's like 90 degrees out here. And so I've got the air conditioner on right here. And cut all that off. Got the air conditioner on out here. And if I'm going to get in the car and it's hot, and I know it's hot, then I can use my remote to crank it up and, you know, wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes when I go outside, and my car will be nice and cool. Okay? Because the air conditioner will be running and all of that. That makes sense? Okay, so in the summertime, it's useful in that sense, like here in Georgia. In the wintertime, it's useful for those in the cold area to warm the vehicle up. So, guys, I hope that helps save you some money. And anybody with the SRT 8, just about any model, RTs, SXTs, Chrysler 300s, the Caravans by Dodge, just about anything they make, you can get Flash Logic remote start for it. And it works really well. And just to recap this real quick, if you're going to use the remote, you got to make sure that you've pressed the lock button, that your doors are all locked, your windows are up, your doors are locked, okay? Then you press this button 3 times. The horn is hooked to this one. You don't have to have the horn hooked to it, but it lets you know that you're pressing the button firmly. So press the button, the lock button here, 3 times slowly, like 1, 2, 3. Wait like 2-3 seconds, it cranks up. Okay? If you want to turn it off without getting into the vehicle, press the button 3 times again. 1, 2, 3. It shuts the engine off. Okay? Now, if you press the button 3 times on your lock mode, your vehicle cranks up. Then you have to press the unlock mode to unlock your door. Then you get inside your vehicle. When you get inside your vehicle, do not put your foot on the brake. Look over here to your start button. Press your start button 1, 2 times. Okay? That puts it in run mode. Then put your foot on the brake and then put your vehicle in gear. So that's it in a nutshell. Thanks for watching, guys. Gary J. Okay, guys, using our remote that come with this car, 2008 SRT Limited Edition. You notice that on this fob right here, it does not have a engine start button. It didn't come with the engine start button. But with Flash Logic, the system we have in here, we'll press the lock key button right here 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Takes 4 seconds after you press it the 3rd time for the engine to crank up. Now, since you press the lock button, the car has to be locked. The windows have to be up in order for a remote engine system to work, which is a good idea. We come up to our vehicle. The doors are locked because we pressed the lock button. We have to unlock the door and press the unlock button. Now we get inside our vehicle. Now, one thing about getting inside your vehicle, do not touch your brake. If you touch your brake, it's going to shut down. That's a fail-safe. To keep someone from stealing your vehicle. And what we have to do to keep the vehicle running is press our start button, which is a normal ignition button. Press it twice. 1, 2. Now that allows us to put our foot on the brake, and the engine will not cut off now. Otherwise, it would cut off if you didn't press that start button twice. And you can now put it in gear and take off. So it's pretty simple. You get to where you're going, and you want to shut the engine off, go back to the basics, push the button, the engine is shut off. It's that simple. So it works very easily. Okay, our new remote start system. Press your lock key button here 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Takes 4 seconds for it to crank up after you press it the third time. To turn off your vehicle, press it 3 times on the lock button again. 1, 2, 3. Shut down. That's all there is to it.